This is a demonstration on how to replace the MOB sensor on a Xerox AltaLink C8000 Series copier. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is flip open this front door, which will expose all the consumables. Now, in order to expose the MOB sensor, we're going to have to take out all the consumables and remove all the front covers. So the first thing you're going to want to do is safely and slowly remove all 4 toners. And then next, you go down to the R6, which is the cleaning blade. You turn the knob counterclockwise until you feel a pop. And then just pull the cleaning blade straight out. And next is the waste container. So this one's pretty easy. You just grab this tab here, flip down, which will disengage the clip, and you can pull out the waste container. Then you have to access the drum. So what you're going to do is flip this lever to the left to unlock the cover. Use the tab to flip it down. And then we're going to remove all 4 drum cartridges. You're going to want to be very careful with these, and after you remove all 4, you're going to want to make sure to use a piece of paper or a towel or something else that's going to cover the drums from exposed light, which could damage them. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to close the drum cover, and then before we can start taking off the big cover and the drum cover, we have to put a screwdriver inside the lever to access the screw so we can remove it. That should come right out. And then next, we'll be removing the drum cover. So there's 2 screws, one on the left and one on the right. We'll remove those. Alright, and then the next step will be removing the screws on the bigger cover here. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3 on the right, 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the left. So we're going to take out all 6 of those screws. Alright, and in order to take this off, another thing we need to do is slightly open the left side door. And then you should just be able to pull the cover out, and it'll come out as one big piece with the door like this. And then you can put this off to the side. And then the next thing we're going to do is this giant metal plate here. We're going to take that off. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. So we're going to take all those out. And then after those screws are removed, this should come right off. And then the very next step is locating the MLB sensor, which is right here in the lower left corner. It's connected to a red wire. So the first thing we're going to do is unclip the red wire from the plastic clip there, pull the wire out, and as you can see, it's also connected to a blue and gray wire up here. So you're going to separate those two so that the red is on its own. And then the next step is we're going to unscrew the MLB sensor, which should only be held in by the one screw. And then you should be able to pull out the MLB sensor as one unit. This is what the MLB sensor looks like. So the very next step is what we're going to do is reinstall the MLB sensor and put everything back together. So you're going to slide the MLB sensor back into the hole, and you got to make sure that it lines up with the guides and that it clicks so it's securely in place, otherwise it's going to cause imaging problems. So the first thing we're going to do is put that one screw back in. And then next, we're going to reconnect those wires back to each other, just like that. And then we're going to tuck that cord back in here, and you can clip it back in. And then the next step will be putting this metal cover back on. So make sure that the metal cover lines up with all the holes. As you can see, there's white tabs here. And then there's also the holes for the screws that need to line up. So we'll put all 5 of those screws back in. Alright, and the next step is we're going to put back on the front cover and the front door, which should still be in one piece. Make sure that the tab for the waste container goes over the plastic of the cover, and then it should snap right back in. Just like that. So then you're going to want to make sure to close the left side door. And then we are also going to replace the 6 screws that we took out of the top cover in the beginning. 3 on the right, 1 in the middle, and 2 on the left. Alright, then the very next step will be putting the drum cover plastic back on. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that these 2 prongs on each are lined up with these clamps on the edge of the lasers. So you're going to want to insert at the bottom of those clamps, push in so it clicks, and then you're going to want to put in those 2 screws that were taken out, one on the left, one on the right. Next will be the drum lever. So that should go straight in there. And then you'll want to be able to get a screwdriver in there and tighten the screw until you feel resistance. And then last but not least, we're going to put all the consumables back in the machine. So you're going to want to open the drum cover door and then reinsert all 4 drums. You want to make sure when you reinsert these drums to be careful in order to not scratch them or damage them, and also make sure they click when you return them to their places. And then once all 4 drums are inserted, you want to close the drum door. And then this latch here, you want to turn it to the right so it's locked. And then we're going to put all 4 toners back in their slots. And next is the cleaning blade. You want to insert that back into the R6 slot. You want to push it all the way in and screw this knob clockwise until it's tight. Flip the latch to the left. And last but not least is the waste container. You just slide it into the R5 slot until you hear it click. Then you close the front door. And that is how you change the MOB sensor on a Xerox AltaLink C8000 Series copier.